my understanding is, even the 140 time is pretty decent. It does look like, however, we are starting, so I'm going to let you go so we can watch Nobodywar versus Narvs in Poltergeist Fury. Thanks again for running, and GG.
My pleasure, GG, and big shouts to the Worlds Collide community. I'll sketch you around.
Okay, we have a starting Gao, Setzer, and Shadow. Shadow has Rage, start. It looks like. Okay, did you see what was on Gao?
I did not.
But yeah, it looks like Narvs was looking at the rages that Shadow has. And we do have our Y remove back, so we can expect some kind of hijinks regarding that.
I think my favorite spot to use Y remove is in Zozo going up the stairs.
I discovered an interesting thing actually when I started playing around with Y remove. You know that when you're going into the World of Bounds Narsh, into that treasure room, there's normally that one chest that's unlockable because it's the chest that Lone Wolf steals.
Yep.
You can actually Y remove to unlock it.
Yep, it's always empty though, isn't it?
It's empty, but it was just interesting that you can Y remove unlock it. Speaking of that, I saw Dragon Claw Healing Rod. I didn't really see too much that stood out in that Narsh treasure shop or
I did not
treasure
either.
room. Tonic from the clock, not great. Scimitars, okay, but nothing to write home about.
That was a red cap in the armor shop.
You got decent stuff selection in the item shop for getting your starting stuff going. Wall ring, 20 battle curse shield looks like.
Oof. I don't think I would do that one.
Some earrings, that's pretty nice.
And that looked like a decent amount of money, like 11,000.
I think it was 1,100. I didn't get a good look at it. I ended up paying more too. That eye shield is nice though.
It is. Because ice is not available in this flag set.
And speaking of red caps, there's a free red cap. Okay, so shock.
We got lore on Gao. I saw shock in there. I don't know if it's a lore shock Gao or if shock was on Setzer.
Okay, we do have a returner's camp coming up, and we did find a red cap in the basement though, so don't need to go buy one just yet. Some nice edges, but I don't know if we have anyone who can throw them.
I've not seen a thrower yet.
Yeah, I think right now we're just seeing some fairly standard looting routes that are perfectly reasonable. Maybe if we find something really exceptional, we'll break from that, but until then, we're just going to loot.
There is a dragon horn.
Is this going to be a 50 dragon horn seed then?
I hope not. 13,000 in a pot.
That is a decent. Yeah, that's a decent chunk of change. And dried meat for sale at returner camp, so that Gao is already paying off.
There's also dried meat in World of Ruins South Figaro. There's dried meat everywhere.
This is the jerky seed. Oh, Coliseum check pretty early, but makes sense if you think you got someone who can win a fight.
It is a lore shock Gao.
Can a lore shock Gao win the Colosseum fight?
At no checks, I think maybe.
Okay, we are seeing Gao Manor and Magicite Torado. So I think that's our first shiny rock on the board.
That is the first shiny rock. Is that an Illumina for a warp stone?
I didn't quite see what it was, but it did look like he was trading a warp stone.
It was an Illumina. Now, one
That's
of the
a
other
nice
things
find.
in there was a cat hood for a Revivify.
Yeah, so it looks like there's some options available to us if we want to get some early gear.
And I personally like the cat hood because it just makes it so much easier to buy stuff.
Lobo is the exact fight you want to see here.
And that's
And
Edgar.
that is, yeah, very nice early character find. Okay, we are seeing Cafe is an imp
As an
with an economizer. So if we get any decent spells, we can cast them for cheap, but otherwise it's going to just sit there.
Ultima is available in this flag set, but with that 20 battles on the curse shield, I think I'd be looking more for a shiny rock to have Ultima on it.
Yeah, and we haven't even seen what's on Torado yet, but that's just the first of 9. And did you know what? Did we see what the skip was for this?
It was 9, 13, and I believe 22.
That 22 isn't terrible, but yeah, 9 might be doable as well, but 13 Espers is not going to happen, I don't think. Looks like nobodywar is left a Moogle Charm on while trying to get some levels for the Colosseum. And Reach Frogs. Aren't they adorable?
It's not a bad fight.
Looks like he's turning Shadow into his jumper. Shadow can equip that Aura Lance, so good choice. X-Zone Cure 3 on that Torado.
It's a Blitz Edgar.
Okay, so I wonder if we'll see Bum Rushing Edgar at the end. Okay, and Narvs is going to get his Edgar as well. Aloe Vera. And Dead End, not what you want. I didn't see what that fight was. Or what the item trade was. Overmind. Yep, I'm gonna make sure we're Overmind, so nobodywar will have his Dragoon set. Looks like we got Serpent Trench on the board for Narvs. Good choice, I guess, for early leveling as well.
Yep, a lot of fixed encounters there, and it's generally not a difficult in the early game.
Yeah, and but both of them do have Dragoon sets. I think Narvs picked up the Illumina, but nobodywar did not. I'm not sure if nobodywar had warp stones to even check that.
Right.
But we are going to see an out of sequence Mount Zozo using the Y remove to get rid of the door.
And I kind of like this play. It's still early. He's got levels. He should be able to take on this dragon. He did just find a Genji glove there.
Yeah, this is one of those really nice, like, treasure dense zones. The only problem is it is gated by cyan, so normally if you don't have cyan, you're not going to be able to get in. But yeah, this is with Y remove, this is accessible. Yeah, that shock seems to be doing some work. Again, from what I understand, it does taper off towards the end, but for now, it still is somewhat helpful. That's an Excalibur and a Magicite.
The Excalibur is a decent weapon, but it's not as good as the Illumina or Ragnarok.
I mean, if you don't know about those Illuminas at the Colosseum, it's going to be what you're using probably.
Because that's a pearl infused weapon, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it'll be good for like Doomgaze or
There's your
Iden.
Tritalk. And I guess Tritalk was just trying to send love letters to that girl in Miranda.
Tritalk was on the wrong mountain.
But yeah, we're saving, getting hopefully some healed up a little bit there. Merton is on that Tritalk, so we have our Merton. Just need to get some fire shields and we're good.
Now he does already have at least one red cap, doesn't he?
We did see one red cap from the basement. And I think this might be Narv's last Serpent Trench fight.
I think so. Now, one thing that's interesting about the Poltergeist flag set is experience eggs are one of the possible rewards for dead checks.
Yeah, and you pluck that experience egg on any character that uses physical attacks or you need to get to a certain level for some reason. That makes that job a lot easier.
Definitely be nice to see an experience egg on Edgar early. Well, speaking of experience
There
eggs,
you go. That one's on you, so you get to claim, you get credit for that one.
and on both.
Oh, we got experience eggs all over the place. This is an experience egg seed.
Yep, which is not a bad thing.
I mean, after the fourth one, you probably don't need it as much.
Very true. But it does make for good money.
Valiant knives for sale, so I guess you can sell your experience eggs when you no longer need them. Get some Valiant knives.
Yep, and by that point, you know, your characters will be a good level with high HP, so...
So once again, the Nokia shop does have some useful stuff in it.
I think I'm going to have to start focusing on going to that shop in my seeds just to see what's there, whether I have the Serpent Trench available to me or not.
We're back to the Colosseum, getting more Illuminas maybe?
Yep.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, getting through those red fangs isn't terrible, so...
We have a Covert and a Marshal in the skies.
That's kind of gross.
And I didn't see if he chose to search the skies or if he just happened to get the RNG of it.
I mean, either way, you're here now. Hopefully you can get through this. It looks like he only got one more Illumina, that to put on Edgar, it seems. It's possible no one else can equip them, and he might also want shields. Anyway, just have to get through that Marshal now.
I think Setzer and Gao could both equip the Illumina. And that's Terra.
Alright, that's going to be character 5.
And that is Magicite number 3 for nobodywar.
And that's Kieran. See if anything interesting is on that when we take a look. Okay, we're going to do some more dragons, it seems.
Yep, and with this flag set, you get auto haste and auto safe after defeating 4 dragons.
Okay, he's decided that Setzer is going to be the jumper and not. Oh, and Setzer can use Aura Lance as well, so that's going to work out.
Interesting. Narvs remembering to switch around his party so he can get the good discount from Edgar.
Yeah, those 5 gold rename cards are going to be super valuable.
Magicite on the throne.
I saw Berserk and Pearl on that Carbuncle. Berserk would be very nice to have against Magic Master if we happen to run into it.
Yes, also Gold Dragon.
Speaking of dragons, we got an Ice Dragon here at the Opera.
Honestly, that's one of the best dragons to see early game.
Okay, now we are going to go ahead and, clean out this engine room. And there's an SR Behemoth just tried to learn engineering, I guess.
Does he have thumbs?
I mean, I guess that depends on how good of an engineer you are.
So I did not see what the reward from the second dragon for nobodywar was.
But sometimes, just having dead dragons is reward enough.
Very true. I know part of the reward was a lot of magic points and a lot of experience points.
And the satisfaction of a dragon being dead.
Very true.
But in any case, nobodywar is following in Narv's footsteps. Going to go ahead to see Terra here and go ahead and do the engine room, I think. The real question is, where do you want to go from here? Do you finish off Ancient Castle and then go do some Terra's checks?
I would. I mean, I personally like doing all of Edgar's checks just all in a row, and that's a sword text Terra.
Okay, so Cyan is going to be a bit of a priority, maybe, just so we can bring that fully online. But again, that's assuming we can find Cyan for, maybe as character 6 or 7.
Also, nobodywar is already on the dragon hunt, so it would make sense for him to go down into the ancient castle.
Yeah, and we do see Narvs heading over to trigger the bumping into stuff underground. And the doggo tanking that evil claw. He's a good boy. I mean, the other question is, are they going to, I mean, we've already seen that Narvs doesn't seem to be too interested in doing those monster inboxes, but do you think anyone will?
With this flag set, I wouldn't. And that is a lock at Ancient Castle.
Okay, we're just going to have another character dense seed, I guess. There's the white dragon.
Yep, I would prefer my seeds to go the opposite way. I prefer getting espers early as opposed to characters.
Yeah, and we saw in the last matchup, just how frustrating it can be to be character heavy and esper poor.
Right.
That dragon's being very rude, however.
Hey. I think that's just some of the level difference between the two of them.
And nobodywar deciding that he doesn't want that Terra in. With the experience eggs, you could probably get Terra up to Sortex 7 a bit faster. Oh, but it looks like he's going to have Terra be the jumper instead.
Interesting. And it looks
There's
like it's a morph setzer.
That is more Setzer. We did see Mute on that Kieran, though, so we do know Mute and Berserk are available. Mega Elixir. Yeah, and it looks like we're trying to decide if we want to keep the current party or not. It looks like we did. So Narvs is just about done with the Ancient Castle check as nobodywar is starting it. They'll probably give a high five at some point on the way.
Somewhere down in the cave. Right there.
Yeah, so I guess with both Terra and Locke now on side, where do you want to go next?
Because the runners haven't done the weapon shop check yet, correct?
No, they have not. Although we do know that the shield is 20, but we haven't seen what's in the weapon shop, I don't think.
Because having...
So you want to head back to Narsh?
I think I would head back to Narsh. Especially if I'm nobodywar, I would do the weapon shop and then run up, take out my 4th dragon, because he's taking on his 3rd dragon currently. But Edgar does go down. So does Gao.
We're going into Kefka's tower.
That is honestly not a bad play. Due to scaling.
So it looks like he's doing stacking the right hand party. So going to probably just swing through and then take out the center with the main party, and then come back once you have the espers and characters for the actual unlock.
Yep, come back later on and then be able to go 2 and 2 with your parties.
This is probably one of the earliest Kefka Tower attacks I've ever seen.
That was a very unlucky jump by Terra. Terra for nobodywar is currently wielding the Excalibur and got a 4-bounce jump on the white dragon.
Narvs is bypassing that. I think this is his center team. Yeah, this is center team. Okay, right-hand team is going to go right through that ambush. White Dragon is down. I feel like this is an appropriate situation for the whole bold strategy meme.
The what?
You know the bold strategy. I hope it pays off. Well, let's see if it pays off meme.
Yep.
I think what the Narvs is doing is this is kind of applies to that meme.
I mean, honestly, other than the time it would take, what is to stop him from sending his party up and clearing out all 3 statues now?
I mean, if there is something really nasty, like early game nasty at one of those, this could backfire spectacularly. But number 24 does go down. This was the ambush spot.
And so far, I don't think either runner has finished a battle with a character dead.
Okay, nobodywar has the carbuncle. Okay, and Narvs is going to take this dragon with the full party. And discount shopping going on nobodywar's side.
Well, it didn't really look like there was much worth buying. That was 1900 damage before the Pearl proc from Edgar.
Yeah, he's got that. Oh, Daryl's Tomb is coming up on nobodywar side.
I like this play. It's a quick, peekable check. Figure out
and
what's
you can,
at the end.
Yeah, and then you can. This is one of those ones where you could like route it in with everything else Setzer has.
Yep, that's the way I like to do Setzer's checks. Is I will go to World of Ruin, hit the cafe, do Search the Skies, and then grab the tomb. It's nice.
It's a very solid route.
It's nice when everything just falls in together. Just like all of Sabin's checks, they're all right next to one another outside of Mount Colts.
And as you mentioned before, Edgar's checks are much the same. On the other hand, it does feel like most of Terra's checks are somewhat spread out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can do Leet River into Welk is a solid route, but that also means you want to do Leet River.
Right. That's a Crusader at Daryl's Tomb.
One of the best espers to have in this for the multicasting.
But it's guarded by Maggie Master. And that is a quick reset.
Yeah, we can find the total party destruction esper some other way, I guess.
But now nobodywar knows where Maggie Master is hiding at.
Yeah, it's certainly a really helpful knowledge to have. There's their economizer if you want cheap spells. And Guardian. Rexel at Guardian spot.
That's not terrible. Especially when you got the doggy running in there and helping you out.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember if he absorbs Pearl, though. It doesn't matter, he's gone. Yeah, so Guardian spot down on Narv's side.
That is Cyan.
All
Taking
right,
a
so
nap,
we can,
as usual.
but that does mean we can get Terra's Sword Tech online now.
Very true. Now, in the vanilla game, what are the requirements for learning Sword Tech 8?
Lots of levels, as I remember. I don't. It's possible that that is like a story thing, like Bum Rush is, but I don't remember exactly.
It looks like Narvs backtracked to get to this dragon here.
Yeah, that is something you can do with this particular strategy. You can take your center party, or not the center, but the right-hand party down this backtrack up the center's path to go hit Toilet Atma and the second dragon.
Interesting.
You don't see it a lot just because it is more of a time sink, but it is like you know the where the switches are, those paths all are open for whatever team you have going into the Guardian spot.
Okay.
So you can just go use them to backtrack down the other two paths. That means you can, get Toilet Atma, you can get the second dragon. Aegeus Shield at the validation check.
His Edgar is level 37. And
Yeah, we
Doom,
got a Doom here. Okay.
which isn't bad. He's got 2
Yeah,
using the Illumina.
I think this is a pretty favorable matchup for Narvs. I mean, the real question is Narvs going to go and try to get the other two statue spots, or just wait till he can get Skipper, possibly?
It would make sense to wait. I don't think the other members are strong enough to take down a statue, and the time it would take to run through the tower again, I don't know if it's necessarily worth it.
But, at least Narvs can rest assured that there's a lot less to do later on now that the center path is clear.
Very true, and I feel like waiting until the end for that fight would have taken much more time.
Nobodywar is, saw that Cyan, remembered the sword tech, and is going Dream.
I think Narvs is using the strategy of peeking what statue is on what side.
Yeah. And since it's all swapped, you already know one of them, so you just have to peek one of them to get the third.
Yeah, so you just got to keep that in the back of his mind for end of the game. Poltergeist is on the left side.
Maybe take some notes. Meanwhile, we got either Atma or Atma weapon. I'm not sure which. I didn't quite
That
see.
is
That's
Toilet
just
Atma.
Atma. Yes, just Atma. Yeah, there's our Search the Skies fight.
Now, out of the two, which one in the vanilla game is actually stronger? Is it Atma or is it Atma weapon?
I mean, Atma shows up in Kefka's Tower while Atma weapon is on Floating Continent. My personal experience is the first time I ever played Final Fantasy VI. I nearly wiped to Atma weapon on Floating Continent. My last character is still standing, or miraculously like sitting on the floor, nearly dead, was Mog, and that is how I learned about Moogle Rush, which is his desperation attack. And how I learned about desperation attacks is I managed to get through that fight by basically relying on that desperation attack that I didn't even know was there.
Interesting. Now we see Phoenix Cave coming on Narv's side.
Yeah, I think that's a fairly solid thing. There's plenty of treasures here. There's a dragon here. You already got locked, so you can actually check the check. Yeah, Phoenix Gate at this point is perfectly fine.
I did not see where nobodywar got an Atma weapon, but he has an Atma weapon. It's going to jump with an Atma weapon.
I mean, if your jumping character can't equip spears, you might as well just see what super powerful swords they can equip are.
That's true. And it looked like he reset out of Dream.
Yeah.
Wasn't too much of a time loss, but it was still a time loss.
I'm not sure if what happened there to prompt that, because I was looking at Narv's screen, I think.
Toilet Atma, I believe, got the best of him.
Oh, okay.
So we moved some relics around, headed back in.
It's possible it was a closer fight, and he just needed to make a few adjustments. Okay, what do we got? Yeah, so we're going to see a dragon fight here. That makes perfect sense. And this Atma, he is doing some pretty decent damage, so it's just a matter of getting through. Lifeguards coming out, they'll cast regen on everyone. We have a storm dragon there.
That is a tanky Atma. But that is the 4th dragon for Narvs, which gives him auto safe and auto haste.
Yeah, Narvs is...
And a set of marble shooters.
Unfortunately in that same sort of spot that we saw Retrofile in last round, where you're almost, or you're very close to like your character goal, but there's just not been a lot of espers.
That is true. Nobodywar, on the other hand, made it through the Atma fight with 1 character remaining and is awarded a Starlet. But he does have his 7 characters, and that is a Sabin at the bottom of Phoenix Cave.
Okay. We are still, however, down 6 espers on Narv side.
Nobodywar reset out again, so he does lose that Esper. But
I
I
guess
think he
he's
had,
just not liking that matchup, huh?
I think he had no way to heal his party members that were dead.
Oh yeah, there we go. Also found some warp stones.
Nerves going into Zen to see what the thief has. 63,000, that is pricey. And Nobodywar taking a different approach. He is going to do Doma defense first.
Okay.
And we see that merchant holding the house up. Narvs is just bypassing all of the chests, going straight for another economizer. And that is Ifrit at Doma defense.
Otter Scheme did nothing.
He does have Sword Tech, and Sword Tech 1 could be helpful. Fire Scheme is not helpful. Did not see an Ice Shield in his inventory. That
Okay,
is
we got
Odin
Odin.
from Collapsing House.
That's very nice. Yeah, this Ifrit fight is... Oh, yep, there we go. Yeah, that was just not a great matchup, it seems. And we are leaving Doma for later, it looks like. Back to Narsh.
But it's World of Balance, so I'm guessing he's going Welk. There was not a character at the Yeti spot.
I mean, the question is, okay, we just have tunnel armor here. Do we check Kefka and Narsh?
That's a long climb for it to not be rewarding. That's Siren and Mobilis.
So that is rewarding. Very much so, since it is Siren.
And an Ice Rod.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice MOBA so far, although the fight's nothing to write home about.
But we know it's not going to be Magimaster after Funbaba.
Correct.
Could still be Doomgaze.
That'd be fun.
I'm not sure what their levels are. That was Bismarck.
Yeah, we got Bismarck, so we are starting to find the Espers now. Okay, so who do we got here?
Gao and Shadow. We got the Jumper and Shock.
And that's Flame Eater.
Flame Eater I'm not too concerned about. He did just pick up an Ice Rod.
I don't know if I'd want to, like, spend an Ice Rod on Flame Eater unless it was, like, really early.
Not with the 4 Pogo Shadow.
Yeah.
That took Flame Eater down really fast.
I think we're seeing a South Figaro World of Balance check on Nobodywar's side. So this is the vanilla tunnel armor spot. And there's our other Atma.
Now, Sword Tech 4 does not ignore defense like Sword Tech 7.
Yeah, so far one of the differences is Narvs does have that saving. Nobodywar has Cyan.
Yep. So both of them have their character requirements.
And we did see Nobodywar try to get the, run into the toilet at Stooge spot, so was unable to unlock Sword Tech fully.
Yeah, but doing these checks, he might get himself the levels he needs to be able to go back through there. And he knows that the first spot is an Esper.
It looks like Narvs did not re-equip a movable charm.
That is unfortunate.
That says they're taking his time to run away. Yeah, yeeting the running shoes and putting the movable charm on instead.
Yeah, running shoes are not necessary at this point. And Atma weapon goes down on Nobodywar's side. We know from Nobodywar that this is Cyan laying on the ground.
Right, so that will open up the Doma checks for Narvs.
And that was Celeste.
Okay, we could potentially see a 9-character skip then.
Ooh, Narvs warped out.
Did not want Cyan. Yeah, already on 7 characters, which is just purely looking for Espers at this point. Nobodywar, on the other hand, is taking advantage of finding Celeste to go do the prisoner check.
If I was Narvs, I probably would have picked up Cyan just for Sword Tech completion. And that is
We're taking the Fenrir
in the basement, and Fenrir.
We are absolutely taking that Fenrir.
Oh, absolutely. I remember one seed that Schwantz rolled for one of these races. Pretty sure the Narsh weapon shop check was Marvel shoes or Marvel shoes.
Yeah, there was that one seed that Schwann's had where he basically could have opened up his own Foot Locker store or something.
And he was super excited about it, as we all know how much the Swanch loves Marvel shoes.
That's a 44k World of Balance price for Zen Thief.
And we know it is not an Esper based on the text.
Narvs is going to find, I think you said this one was Bismarck?
Bismarck.
Past this tunnel. Yeah, and tunnel armor is not a threat.
Wow.
Absolutely not a threat.
Now, since he's already done the weapon shop, he can go straight in and grab, what was it, the economizer?
Yeah, I think that would be like the second or third economizer we've seen.
But I have not seen Ultima.
There is Merton, but I haven't seen Quick either. Quick's another one, expensive one that's nice to have cheap. I think that's what Narvs was doing, was just browsing the available spell list.
And if nothing else, the economizer is great for money.
Yeah.
And we do know that that Valiant knife is sitting safely in the shop in Ikea.
Okay, nobodywar is going to try his hand at Ifrit.
This is the second attempt.
Oh, that's right. Narvs doesn't even have Cyan yet. And it is reset out of getting Cyan, even.
Yep. But now, nobodywar does have an Atma weapon on Terra, which will ignore the defense. But he could also use shock.
Okay, and still rejecting that thief. I'm wondering if Narvs just didn't remember if it was an Esper or not.
Possible. And it looks like he is going out of sequence. Magitech. Nobodywar using the runaway glitch to get himself a Genji glove. How's he?
Okay, Imperial base sealed gate. Okay, and let's go see what's in the trash compactor room. Not even going to do a safety save immediately into this fight.
And it's just leader.
Yeah, that's perfectly safe then.
When your Edgar is swinging that big sword for almost maximum damage.
Yeah, at this point it'd be a real waste to let leader ask you some questions.
Right?
I think I may have already used that pun though. And we got an imp here at the sealed gate, just hoping to get let in to join the ranks of Espers.
I'd let him in. And another experience egg.
Yep, this is the egg seed. Get ready to make some omelets, guys.
Now, is there really much of a time save to warp out from the sealed gate?
I don't know.
Because it does open up that door to lead you straight back to the entrance.
Here we go.
You're seeing a floating continent.
Meanwhile, Narvs is on 8 Espers now.
And another experience egg.
Yep. Okay. This is again our fault. Sorry, everyone. We have willed into existence the experience egg seed.
It would have been nice to get those in the beginning.
Yeah, collect the whole set before you got too far along.
Yeah.
Phantom Train. Did nobodywar do Phantom Train yet?
I don't believe he doesn't have Sabin.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, this is some brand new information here.
Oh,
That's a mod.
He's gonna reset out.
Yep, so we know where 9 characters are now.
10.
Oh yeah, 10 because we have Cyan as well. So yeah, so second time tonight we have had a character dense seed.
Ghost Train, you shouldn't be in the sky.
This is like one of those scenes from like Fast and Furious, right? Or like just, you know, we're going to just paradrop our cars into the location.
That fight from the waterfall was so fast that I didn't see who he was fighting.
I didn't either. I was too busy thinking about Fast and Furious franchise.
I think they also did it in the remake of the A-Team.
Okay, yeah.
Dropped a tank. And they were using the big gun on the tank to direct it where to go.
Yeah. Movies are silly.
But that is unlocked for narvs.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he's at for. It looks like he's on 20 something checks.
21 checks.
Yeah, and it was 22, 23 for Skip.
23, so he's not too far off of that.
Yeah, you can just go do some random quick checks, get that out of the way, and you're good.
And that is Chad in the sky on the way down to the floating continent.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to have a train falling into from the sky, you might as well put paintings there too.
Well, he just sold 3 economizers. I wonder if he's going to buy from the thief to just cross that check off the board.
Yeah, that would actually be a fairly quick one. There
and
you go.
Another experience egg.
Of course, it's another experience egg.
But Tower Skip was at 22 checks, so he now has Skip, and he's already cleared the center lane.
Yeah, this is just a really strong showing.
He is a little behind on levels for the remaining statues, other than Edgar. Now, do experience eggs stack like earrings?
I don't believe they do.
That would just be real dumb if they did.
I could be wrong about that, but I don't believe they do.
Because the experience egg will double the XP you get, correct?
I don't remember the exact math. I just know that you want to get your guy up to where he ought to be fast, you put on those experience eggs.
Now, is Narvs going to take a little bit of time to go get Bum Rush?
Is he already on 42? He's on 42. He can do
He's
that,
on
right?
51 with Edgar, and that's who's got Blitz.
It looks like he's going right into tower, possibly. Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming Narvs just believes that he has the power to get through this even without Bum Rush.
I mean, honestly, he probably does.
Okay, so the first good news for nobodywar is that that first check is an Esper.
Well, let's take a nap first. And it's Golem.
So it's a very good Esper.
Not great spells on it, but it is still calmness protection.
Yeah, I mean, its name just has to be Golem, and that's good enough.
True. It's a somewhat interesting play, putting the experience egg on a support character going into the statue fight.
Maybe just a safety measure, see if you can get a few levels on one of your backups. Okay, so now we're going to start seeing some fights going on.
Yep, and Terra fulfilling her purpose of just standing on a switch at, I think, level 16.
Yeah, so yeah, Shadow's going to do the work here.
Big pogo.
The biggest of pogos, it seems. I
That's
think
just
all
shy
four
of
were quad
40,000.
9, right?
Yes. We got a Yeti. Unfortunately, not the character Yeti, the enemy Yeti. A very strong Yeti.
Anyway, this is the last statue fight for Narvs. And it is our namesake, Poltergeist. Opening Merton. I'm going to confess I'm not fully aware of what's like why everyone is down on nobodywar's side.
Because that Yeti is a tank.
Oh, well, that would do it, yeah. Blaster takes out Edgar.
That was Nobodywar's 8th Magicite, so far in Floating Continent, he is 2 for 2 on Magicites.
Yeah, and it just puts him like right at the near the finish line. So if this last one is also Magicite, that's go mode. Do we know what Nobodywar's checks count is at?
19? His tracker is very hard to read.
So he's not very far off either.
Correct. Because I think, did he warp out? Nope.
Yeah, he just warped out of that fight, that's all.
Okay. After this, we'll put him at 20 checks, and then Skip is at 22.
Yeah. Poltergeist is down, as are Edgar and Locke.
Taking advantage of that Y remove, getting rid of that final boss, and it's an Imp Sprite. And that is go mode for Nobodywar.
Yeah, Floating Continent was a bit of a long check, but it did pay off in the end.
Nine, 13, and 22. And he is at 20 checks.
And we're probably going to see final Kefka fight starting around 110 or so. Depending on how long this cutscene is.
True. I think generally when I'm trying to rush through it, it's a little over a minute.
But yeah, this is a pretty decent time for narvs right now. And nobodywar just needs to get a couple quick checks in for skip, and then just get through those statue fights.
Looks like he's going to Doma Dream. Nope, just saving. Tricked ya. That is him getting his bum rush online.
Yep. So tier 1 X zone, we're going to hopefully get long arm. We missed long arm. Just straight up casting Doom. That looks like it took. Not the best targeting from those hops, but it's just getting there. Actually, head might be down.
Head is down. Tier 1's
Short
down.
arm. Yeah, short arm just fell.
Nobodywar gonna grab his 4th dragon.
Nope. That's a quick, fast check right here. And it's a useful one too, being Fenrir.
Now he's going for his 4th dragon, which will give him 21 checks and or 22 checks, I'm sorry, and the unlock.
Yeah, that's seems like a decent route.
And then he can use his warp stone. Get back to the airship. Tools is down. Magic is muted.
Yeah, this is fairly solid tier 2 so far.
Using Fenrir on this because why not? You got multi-summon.
Yeah, we have multi-summon. Just go ahead and spam those. Dirt Dragon. Oh, that's
very
rough.
Gross Dirt Dragon.
Oh, wow. That was a bad reset, too. That save was before Bum Rush.
That was. Which means it was also before that Magicite.
Yeah, I mean, the Magicite check is fairly quick, but it's just like, yeah, that's the kind of save that hurts a lot.
I think one of my downfalls is I save too much because I have been burned by not saving.
Okay, W Wind is not the best, but dodges it on most of the characters. And we're going to start seeing like all the common stuff come out early, possibly, just because we do have multicast.
Oh yeah. I think nobodywar didn't heal before trying to take on that dragon.
Okay, Fenrir is out. I can't remember if Narvs found that golem or not.
I think he did. I think honestly I would much rather see Train than Meteo.
Absolutely. Train is much easier to find answers for, I think.
And Train is still annoying.
I mean, that's also why you might have Unicorn as one of your espers, is just to deal with Train.
True. But there is tier 3 down onto final Kefka.
Yeah, Calmness just did not hit anyone. I think the golem was still up.
Yep, I think it missed because of Fenrir. Shadow's still hanging out up in the air somewhere.
That is also another good way to dodge Calmness, is just not be on screen.
You can't die if you're not on screen. Which isn't true for auto-condemn. I think your timer can run out in the air.
I think you're still alive until you hit the ground, and then once all the damage has been assigned, that's when you get the kill.
Yep.
But that was a very nice pogo to start. Already goner phase. I think we skipped a fallen one.
We did. I think that's...
Cracking the Thunder Shield.
And that'll do it there.
Yep, that was it. GG. Good job, Narvs. That looks like
114.21.
All right, that's a very nice time.
And he is already waiting to come in for the interview, so let's get him in here.
Welcome, Narvs. GG.
Thank you. That was an amazing run for me. That went fast.
Yeah, so I will say that I saw you do that early Kefka's Tower, and I totally went into the dodgeball meme of bold strategy to see if it works out.
Yeah.
It did seem to work out, however, because that sort of set you up with levels for the rest of the seed too.
Yep. Yep. I have found doing that early, once you get that 6th character, to grabbing both those dragons, getting that haste and shell early can make some huge differences. Especially, I was all offense and I barely had helmets for half my people. It was just no defense on them.
So after seeing the opening characters, what was your plan going forward with this particular seed?
In this case, I saw the shock and I knew, well, easy grinding levels early. So if I had the late river, the Serpent Trench actually, which I don't think I actually ended up doing, because I headed to Coliseum right away. I always like getting that quick, the Dragoon set, and then seeing Illumina's there. I was like, well, I'm set. I need almost little to no chests from now on. I'll just have to buy my gear.
Yeah, we've seen some other seeds in previous runs where they just weren't able to find any kind of like significant weapons, and then you basically found like essentially free Illuminas.
Yes, that was a huge difference, and it felt weird too because I even saw VKs being sold, and didn't buy it because I didn't want to hunt for an offering.
And it also seemed like this has been sort of a common thing for a few of the recent seeds, is that they seem to have been like very character rich, and then the espers sort of took a while to find. So I believe you hit your character limit fairly early.
Yeah, I found 2 characters right away with Terra and Locke. And then kind of when I had that, and though I only had 2 espers, I decided to make that run for Kefka's Tower, do that center lane with the right side party, and then check out what it is so I knew what characters to plan for. The Dragoon's always great against Goddess because she can't block it or love token you. Poltergeist, I was extremely lucky with that fight. I missed the chance to buy a red jacket that I saw it and I just glazed on past it, not realizing that Edgar would be in that party fighting against Poltergeist.
Yeah, and it also seemed like you saw a couple of the later characters like Cyan, and I think I'm not sure who else you saw,
Mog.
but yeah, and you just said no thanks.
Yeah, with 22 checks skip and hitting 4 dragons, needing more characters, usually that's for the skip. You don't really need them for anything else. There wasn't any reason to even try for it, which is why at the end I was trying to do all the encounters where I could at least check it before I grabbed it.
And was there any like there were some pleasant surprises. Were there any unpleasant surprises in this seed for you?
Oh, I'm trying to think back now. No, almost none, which is why this time was so good. I felt like I threw like the few random chests that I did check. I found a Thunder Shield, and it was just like so many things worked out unexpectedly well. I'm trying to think back if there's. I don't think I even struggled any fights or anything. This was just as smooth as it gets.
We did not see Doomgaze anywhere, but Magimaster was guarding Crusader in Daryl's tomb.
Oh, okay. I thought about checking there because that's one you can check. It'll tell you what you're getting when you look at it.
Nobodywar went there early and reset out and never went back.
Got it.
Now, how many of the Poltergeist seeds have you done?
So that's pretty much. I did about 1 a day, leading up to this event. So between my last week's seed, I think. So I've done about like 7, maybe 8.
And this is your fastest so far?
Oh yeah. Before this 120, I had a 120 once. Otherwise, it was all 130s. So like this, like I said, this was an incredibly fast speed for me. But I think the biggest thing I had to learn and get down was learning when's the right times to use the Y remove, when should you, grab checks that are normally, kind of out of the way. And I really enjoyed the strategy of doing the center lane early. And so you could explore and know which statues you have to deal with at the end. Because sometimes you get stuck with a statue that you just didn't pick the right characters to deal with that situation.
Very true.
we've definitely seen a couple of seeds on Restream, races on Restream, where that did happen to one of the players or both of the players, and it does, just really balloon the time when you got the wrong matchup there.
Yeah, by far.
But on the whole, so how do you feel about Poltergeist flag set in general?
So I think Goddess is still my favorite, but I love the Y remove ability. It just changes so many elements of the game for like how you try and tackle it and like what direction you can go. You have a lot more options.
And is there anything else about the event in general that you're really into?
I really like this one more than the Battlegrounds one we had, because before sometimes the people who didn't hit the highest times felt like they weren't really contributing much to their team. Being these are small one-on-one teams, even if you win or loss, the margins, those numbers might come into play for the actual times for breaking, win records. So I feel like every person really can affect this event, whether you're the fastest players on your team or the slowest. In comparison, that even battles, it's very enjoyable. I like that going people the same level as you.
I do like that as well. Me coming into this as a newer racer, I like how the teams are set up to where there's someone from each level, and it's not a new person going up against a Megalixer player. Um, it seems very balanced, but also a lot of the races that I've watched, the times are really similar. Like there's outliers that get great times, and then there's times where people get really bad seeds and their seeds take longer, but a lot of what I've seen is usually somewhere between 130 and or like 120-ish and like 140. So it's not a huge gap. It seems like they're all close races.
Yeah. Oh, I would very much agree. Yeah, they're very close. I don't know what it is with this week's seeds, but there's been a lot of more forfeits. I don't know if they've just been harder or one side is pushing themselves a little more, but at least the first week, everybody finished, all their races, and those times for those margins were very close.
Yep, I think from the first week, my race was less than a 30-second difference between me and my competitor.
Yeah, I like that. Win or lose, it feels like you were in a shot, you were there.
Oh, absolutely. And then the camaraderie between teams, um, like the people on my team have helped me out with different strategies without me asking, and I welcome that.
Yeah, I agree. This has been a great event, and very much appreciate you guys doing these restreams of these races. It's fun to watch people go head to head and see how they tackle similar seeds that I may take on.
Yep,
Well,
and
we
just
couldn't do it without you guys actually, running the races and being willing to be restreamed.
very true.
I guess another question for me is there anything you've taken from this event as far as like the flag sets and the seeds that you think is going to help you in general for future events or future like Ultras League stuff?
I'm not sure. For some of them, at least for these events, I don't know. I feel like Curse Shield has been, especially for Poltergeist, because you can always guarantee get it early. Unlike this one, which was a 20. I felt like that's actually played more of a role in a lot of my seeds for both Goddess and Poltergeist that I've done a lot of. I haven't done a lot of Doom yet, so I'll have to see how that plays out. I don't know if it's changed too much. It's just different because the flags just change it just enough that you play them differently. You have to deal with different situations.
Yeah. One thing to keep in mind with Doom, Ultima is removed from that flag set.
So that would make a huge difference on getting the curse shield or not worth the
So
time.
the curse shield is nice if you can get it at a low battle count to get that paladin shield, but you don't get the benefit of Ultima from it.
I will say with the Poltergeist seed that I will take the curse shield at even like an 18 sometimes. There's enough checks usually that I always seem to end up getting the skip, so there's plenty enough battles to even unlock it at 18. And you're almost always, I feel like, guaranteed. I've not had a run yet where I haven't got an economizer, where it hasn't made it worth it to learn at least one person Ultima.
Right. And that's one of the dead check rewards is an economizer.
So yesterday we had a Genji glove, I think, seed where all the dead checks were like Genji gloves. This time it seemed to be that this was the experience egg seed. So how did that play into your strategy at all?
Yeah, definitely for sure. With seeing the Illuminas and knowing that physical damage is not 100%, but hugely impactful on levels. I mean, that's one of the biggest factors. So I just make sure to throw your experience eggs. I hate that the Dragoon, I can't figure a way to add, an experience egg onto the person that's jumping because it would make huge differences there too. But I deal with, that's just what it is. So that's why I threw it on Edgar and I threw it on Setsu right away. I also had 3 economizers and I think at least 2 Marvel shoes on this run.
Yep.
So
I was
go
happy
ahead.
to not see an excessive amount of Marvel shoes.
Yeah.
So I guess, do you have any final thoughts as far as like either the event, the seed, the flag set, or just Worlds Collide in general?
No, just absolutely out of all the events I've done so far, this has so far been my favorite. I love the Setzer bot for doing draft seeds, just kind of on and off. The event was okay. At the time when that started, I was fairly new to the group, so my times weren't the greatest, but I really like this one event so far. Like I said, because it feels like even if you're the slowest person on your team, because you're going up against someone that's your same level, you do have an impact even on your team. Oh,
And
this is great.
yeah, once again, thank you for being on stream, and congratulations on what is just in general, a really phenomenal time for the flag set.
Thank you.
Any last questions, Knuckly?
I don't think I have any other questions. For people interested in being part of the Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide community, join our Discord. You can find the link at our website, ff6worldscollide.com. We do have a mentoring program where some of the more experienced runners can help you out and give you different tips and tricks on how to improve your times. Unfortunately, now the signups for this event are closed, but we do have the Ultros League that will start later this year, if that is something you are interested in participating in.
Yeah, and we do have, again, this is going to last like another 4 weeks, and there are more races yet to come this week, including tomorrow. We are going to have our sort of usuals. It's going to start a bit later, but the usual speed gaming 2 slot that normally we do like demonstration stuff on and do races on. So we will have a race on Speed Gaming 2 tomorrow, Wednesday, and one of those names looks awfully familiar. Actually,
Yeah.
both of them, because I do happen to know Tybalt as well. But yeah, it is going to be our current restreamer, Knuckly versus Tybalt in their official race. They are going to be on the restream, and I will be back to commentate that.
We are
So
racing the Doom's Rage flag set.
Yeah, so we are going to be looking forward to that, and we are hopefully going to get some other eyes on it, since that is, the Speed Gaming 2 channel. At least I believe, I know it's going to be a Speed Gaming channel, but yeah, that's something to look forward to tomorrow. And again, there's going to be some more races. I don't know if any of them are going to get restreamed later, but we still, again, even after that, have a few more weeks of this, so definitely more races to watch.
Absolutely. And once again, we want to thank the runners, because we can't have the races without the runners.
Yes, thank you guys. It's been a good time.
All right, any final thoughts, Snuggly?
Nope. I believe that is everything for me.
Yeah, and I guess we should probably get wrapped up so you can get some practice in, right?
I have been doing a lot of Doomseed practices this week.
Good luck.
So, thank you, Narvs. Thank you, and GG on your run tonight.
Thank you. It's a good time.
Yeah, so I don't have anything else to say myself, except for, definitely come and keep on watching, and come join us in the Discord if you want to get involved.
All right. Thank you all for watching, and you all have a wonderful night.